Welcome to the Complete SellerEngine TaxLedger webinar. This session explains how the Amazon VAT transactions report becomes a reviewable tax workspace, an accountant-ready export package. The objective is to preserve report scope, country logic, and currency separation from import through export. By the end, you will know what every tab provides, how the period is detected, how movement types and VAT rates are reviewed, how marketplace and country totals differ when OSS scope is relevant, and what is included in the invoice CSV and sales and VAT workbook. Amazon VAT data contains transactions, adjustments, movement types, countries, rates, and several currencies. The dangerous shortcut is to combine everything into one number before checking classification and scope. A total can look complete while mixing currencies or including countries that belong to a different reporting treatment. TaxLedger keeps those dimensions visible. It organizes the source report for review and produces normalized exports, but it does not replace accountant approval or tax advice. The operator's task is to confirm the imported period, registration scope, and report logic before filing. The recommended workflow begins with direct Amazon sync when the dedicated tax report permission is available. While that permission is pending, use the Amazon VAT transactions report CSV as the manual source. Confirm the detected month or quarter before analyzing totals. Then review overview, currencies, breakdown, markets, and country totals. Select the VAT registered countries, enable OSS only when required, and generate the invoice CSV and sales and VAT workbook. Each step narrows uncertainty before the final export. Imports is the manual fallback for the Amazon VAT transactions report CSV. Use the report downloaded from Amazon without reformatting columns or manually rebuilding totals. The application needs the original transaction structure to detect dates, countries, currencies, movement types, and tax values consistently. Choose one reporting file that matches the intended period and account scope. If the file is incomplete or covers an unexpected range, correct the source selection before continuing. Import is the foundation of every later total, so source quality matters more than speed. After file selection, review the identified source before processing. Confirm the file name, report type, and expected period. This is a simple control, but it prevents a prior month, a partial download, or an unrelated Amazon report from entering the workflow. TaxLedger can normalize valid report data. It cannot make the wrong source file correct. Keep the import reproducible so an accountant can trace the exported totals back to the exact Amazon report used. Period confirmation shows the month or quarter detected from the imported transactions. Compare that scope with the reporting obligation and verify that the expected dates are present. A report with missing days or an overlapping range can distort every summary even when individual rows are valid. The same step exposes primary and secondary currencies. Confirm both before interpreting gross totals. The period and currency set form the boundary of the review, and the exports should preserve that boundary rather than silently combining unlike amounts. Overview summarizes invoice lines, net sales, VAT collected, gross total, and the detected report period. These KPIs answer whether the import has the expected scale and tax composition. Use them as reconciliation checkpoints, not as the only tax analysis. Compare the counts and totals with the source period and investigate unexpected gaps before export. Net sales, VAT, and gross represent different components and should remain distinct. An accountant-ready package depends on preserving those definitions consistently across tabs and files. Currency separation is a core control. Euro, pound sterling, Polish zloty, Swedish krona, and other currencies must not be added into one unconverted total. TaxLedger keeps each currency visible because the amounts need to be reviewed and declared under the correct accounting treatment. Use the currency selector or separated summaries to review one monetary unit at a time. If a business process requires conversion, that belongs to the accounting policy outside an informal dashboard addition. The export should retain original currency information, so the accountant can apply the approved method. Breakdown organizes the report by movement type, VAT rate, and classification. This is where the operator checks whether sales, refunds, adjustments, and other transaction categories are represented in the expected proportions and tax treatment. Investigate unusual rates, unexpected movement types, or values that appear in the wrong classification. A correct grand total can still hide a classification problem. Breakdown provides the structure needed to identify that issue before it reaches a declaration file. Markets shows gross sales by Amazon Marketplace. This answers whether commercial activity occurred within the imported report and helps reconcile marketplace-level scale with the seller's operating footprint. Marketplace is not always the same as tax destination, so do not use this tab alone for country declarations. Use it to detect missing or unexpected markets, then continue to country totals for the destination and VAT review. Country totals summarize the report by relevant country and tax values. This is the main review layer for determining which registered markets are present and how the imported activity is distributed. Confirm the countries against the seller's VAT registrations and reporting responsibility. Do not assume that every country shown belongs in the same return. Registration, local reporting, and OSS treatment can differ. TaxLedger organizes the evidence, while the selected registration scope determines which output sections are generated for review. OSS scope is relevant for eligible European business-to-consumer distance sales reported by destination country and VAT rate. Enable the OSS draft only when the seller's reporting setup requires it, and confirm that locally registered or otherwise excluded transactions are treated correctly. The Generated tab is a draft for accountant review, not an automatic filing decision. Check country, rate, currency, and transaction classification before relying on the output. OSS simplifies reporting scope only when the underlying transaction selection is correct. Issued invoices CSV creates an accountant-ready invoice ledger with normalized numeric fields. Use it when invoice line detail is required for accounting import, reconciliation, or document review. The export preserves the selected report scope and currency information. Open the file after generation and confirm row count, period, and columns before handing it off. Accountant ready means structured for review. It does not mean filed or approved. Keep the original Amazon report with the export so the transformation remains traceable. Sales and VAT XLSX creates country declaration sheets and an optional OSS draft tab. The workbook is designed to separate countries and currencies rather than compressing the report into one unsupported total. It provides a practical handoff for accountant review. Confirm the selected registered countries and OSS setting before download. Review sheet names, totals, currency, and period afterward. If the accounting treatment changes, regenerate from the controlled source instead of editing summary values without an audit trail. The complete TaxLedger routine is source selection, period confirmation, currency separation, overview reconciliation, movement and rate review, marketplace and country analysis, registration, and OSS scope, then CSV and XLSX export. Every step protects the meaning of the final package. Use the workflow monthly for ordinary VAT operations and quarterly where applicable. Always complete an accountant review before filing. TaxLedger reduces preparation work and improves traceability, while final tax responsibility remains with the seller and the qualified accounting process. Bring this workflow into your own Amazon operation. Start your 7-day free trial at SellerEngine.app.